going on.
Thank you so much.
Feel like $1 million.
Shout out TMZ, you up?
Let me check out that rig.
TMZ stands for the Mayweather Zone.
How'd you find me, bro? I got my disguise on.
I love my TMZ family.
Welcome to TMZ Sports. I'm Mike Babcock with my guy, as always, Mojo Butati. Mojo, we're going to start with shocking news coming out of the NBA. The New York Knicks, on the heels of getting further than they had gotten in 25 years, have fired their coach, Tom Tibido, in, again, an absolutely shocking move on the Knicks' part. Mojo, of course, Tom Tibido had been the Knicks coach since 2020 when he was hired. He had a ton of success in New York, albeit not a championship ring, Mojo, but he made the playoffs in 4 of his 5 seasons in New York. This is an organization that between 2001, Mojo, and 2020, when Tibbs was hired, won exactly 1 playoff series. So he changed the culture. He installed a winning environment in New York, but ultimately the New York Knicks say, not the guy to get us to that next level. Now, the Knickerbockers released a statement. Here's what they had to say, Mojo. Our organization is singularly focused on winning a championship for our fans. This pursuit led us to the difficult decision to inform Tom Tibido that we've decided to move in another direction. They continued, Mojo. Ultimately, we made the decision we feel is best for our organization moving forward. Tom will always be part of our Knicks family, and we truly wish him nothing but the best in the future. Mojo, with Tibido, this is a guy who had, before he returned as the head coach, he had previously been an assistant in New York for years, so he's got a connection to the city, to the team. But ultimately, again, the Knicks clearly do not believe he was the guy to get them to that next step. A lot of people believe Tom Tibido too hard on his players. He runs his starters into the ground. He doesn't rely on the bench enough. And a lot of people think, experts and fans alike, Mojo, that that is not a winning formula to ultimately win a championship. He beats the guys down too much, got nothing left in the playoffs. I will say this, Ben Stiller is one of the Knicks' real big celebrity fans. He is not a phony. He's not just there for the playoffs. This is a guy day in, day out you can find at Madison Square Garden. Ben Stiller, bummed, mourning the loss, I think is fair to say. Ben Stiller had this to say: we should all take Tibbs out to dinner and thank him profusely, one by one, for the incredible work of the last 5 years and the excitement we have all felt that we didn't feel for a long time before he arrived. Respect and wishing him great success. Mojo, I think, you can appreciate Tibbs, but you can also feel like this is the right move. And I think that's probably the position that a lot of New Yorkers are in right now. And I'm not sure I'm not in that same boat.
Well, Babcock, I'm not as hardcore of a New York fan as you are, but I don't know, man. This was a little surprising to me. Yeah. You said it. I mean, the best season that the Knicks have had in 25 years. Then you factor in how exciting the Knicks were in the postseason, right? I mean, I don't know. I feel like they had any neutral fans on their side. The 20-point comeback, a lot going on. But, man, that's a tough way to go. Look, I understand how difficult it can be to play for a coach that runs you into the ground. Almost every single football coach I ever played for adopted that style. Yeah. And by the time we got to game day, we were beat to all hell, and we probably weren't playing our best ball. But at the same time, man, we were tough physically, mentally, and we could go. But at the end of the day, Babcock, this guy's got $30 million in guarantees left on his contract. So that's how much they're giving this man to go away. Not a bad golden parachute on this one, especially when you consider what he could be making in direct income next year on top of that 30. So, hey, if the team's got their sights on a championship, if they don't think Thibodeau's going to be the guy, I mean, there's always that. But if you're Tom Thibodeau, you can't be waking up this morning too upset.
All right, Mojo, moving on to a crazy moment that was captured on TV during a regional final baseball game that was being played between the Wake Forest Demon Deacons and the Tennessee Volunteers. Now, obviously, this is all with the big hopes of ultimately making it to the College Baseball World Series. Well, last night, as Wake Forest and Tennessee are playing in this game, the Wake Forest manager, a guy by the name of Tom Walter, has been there forever, for over a decade, Mojo. TV camera goes to the coach, and he is captured, Mojo, and you don't hear the audio, but you can read his lips. And when you read his lips, Mojo, and there was immediate outrage here, you see Coach Walter using a homophobic slur. The F word, to be exact. Now, we're not going to show that. We're going to blur his mouth. But no, that's what was said. Afterwards, we're going to tell you, we spoke with the university, and did they deny it? Do they have an explanation? We're going to have an answer for you. But first, let's watch what happened last night.
Tom Walter, Wake Forest head coach, just came out for a word with home plate umpire Casey Moser, with dangerous Andrew Fisher standing in. Hammer, right field and deep. Gone!
So there it was, Mojo. Manager obviously not very happy. He yells what he yells. So the question was then, was there going to be an apology? Was there an explanation? Or was that not even what the manager said? Well, believe it or not, he's actually owning up to it, Mojo. He's admitting using that word, which really surprised me. We reached out to Wake Forest earlier today, and here is the statement that the university sent back to us on behalf of their manager. I am very sorry for my outburst in frustration last night, and I recognize the hurt and disappointment it has caused. I have seen the videos, and while I do not remember the specific moment clearly, that language does not reflect my values or the standards of this program. Regardless, I own the consequences, and I apologize to the University of Tennessee, to Wake Forest University, and to the SEC and ACC, Mojo. So he's saying sorry, saying I don't exactly remember saying it, but not denying he used the word, Mojo, bottom line.
Yeah, how about that, man? Because if there was no audio and you couldn't hear what he was saying, I mean, he could have easily argued that, everyone got it wrong and he was saying something else and it just resembled what everybody thought it was. But I mean, this guy came flat out and just said it and apologized right from the start. You got to wonder if that apology originated from him or if it was maybe something that the school put him up to. But at the end of the day, he said what he said and he came out there and he apologized for that. So you at least got to give him credit for that. But this is a problem. I mean, when you're a coach, you got to be ready for these situations. It's no different than any star player. I mean, Tennessee had that stadium rocking. Those fans were going nuts. They already had a pretty substantial lead, not anything that was going to end the game. It's baseball after all. You can come back from 6-2, but he let his emotions get the better of him, and you just can't have it. Obviously, they went on to take a massive L, and there's that. But as a coach, you got to set the example. You can't go out there doing things like that. If you're going to demand more of your players, then you got to be the one that's leading the shining example. What's going to happen to Coach after this? Not quite sure. I mean, this is a guy that's been there, I believe, 15 years or 16 years or something at this point. He's pretty much a staple in that program. Curious to see how they're going to handle that. But at least step one, he's getting ahead of it and owning up to it and apologizing.
Yeah, Mojo, and to answer that, the university has said, and the athletic director, in fact, this came from, he said that he was surprised and deeply disappointed at what the coach said, but it does not sound like, and sure, something could change here, but as we sit here talking right now, Mojo, Tuesday afternoon, it does not sound like Wake Forest plans to take any sort of action. Up next, Dak Prescott building a new mansion in Texas. We'll give you an exclusive look at the construction when TMZ Sports returns right after this. Welcome back to TMZ Sports. Mike and Mojo. Mojo, you remember last year, I think it was October 2024, Dak Prescott, he knocked down his home. He had this beautiful mansion. I guess not beautiful enough, but he had this beautiful mansion in Texas, and is a little bit Prosper, Texas, to be exact, about an hour or so north of Dallas, where he obviously stars as the quarterback. And they were demolishing this property. He did it actually as part of a video with the Dude Perfect guys, who were incredibly popular on YouTube. Well, Mojo, you fast forward 7 or so months, and Dak Prescott is rebuilding now. He is actually, there's the property, the old house completely gone. And you can see, Mojo, there was a lot of activity. There's construction going on the grounds, and they are building themselves a brand new home. And I guess it makes sense, Mojo, because Dak Prescott and his fiancée, the beautiful Sarah Jane, just welcomed their second child late last month, like a week and change ago, Mojo. May 22nd, they had an adorable baby girl, and I guess new baby, and they need a new pad, Mojo. So there you go. And he makes enough, by the way, $60 million or so a year, highest paid player in the entire NFL, so he's got the money.
Yeah, Dak decided that little Dakota could not fit in a house that small as the one previously. So they didn't just decide to buy a new house and sell the old one, or get an additional property, make one an investment property. No, they had to bulldoze the old one and build a new one on its place. That's when you know that man makes a lot of money, probably too much money if you ask almost any football fan in the entire world, regardless of if they're a Cowboys fan or not. So there's that. That's a whole different discussion, but a big congrats to the family, the best thing in the world. And now they got a new house to boot. Yeah, I'm still going to say it. They really overpaid this again.
Dwight Howard knows a thing or two about being the #1 overall pick in the NBA draft. Superman offers his advice to the likely first pick this year, Cooper Flagg. That's next on TMZ Sports. Welcome back to TMZ Sports, Mike and Mojo. Mojo, NBA draft, there it is, see, if you didn't believe me. NBA draft, Mojo, just a couple of weeks away. And look, let's be honest, there's not a whole bunch of drama about who will be the #1 pick. It's going to be Cooper Flagg. The Dallas Mavericks are not going to trade that pick, and he is going to be a Dallas Mavericks star very shortly here, Mojo, before the calendar reads July. So the question is, what's the advice to a young guy who, of course, just had 1 year in college at Duke University and now will be looked upon to rescue this franchise that is obviously very much in disarray? Well, not a lot of people out there really know what it's like to be the #1 pick. A guy who does, though, is soon-to-be NBA Hall of Famer Dwight Howard. Of course, Mojo, out of high school, because he didn't even go to college. As a teenager, he went, obviously, to the Orlando Magic as the #1 pick 21 years ago. We recently ran into Dwight, Mojo, and we asked him, hey, what advice do you have for Cooper Flagg?
The draft's coming up, man. What advice do you have one #1 to another?
#1 pick?
Yeah.
To another #1 pick?
Yeah.
Just go hoop, enjoy the games, don't let the politics take away from the passion, and have fun.
You see, Melo had something to say. He was saying the dude, although he's great at good at a lot of things, he's not great at anything particularly. What do you think about that assessment?
Well, everybody's going to have their opinion on the player. Obviously, he hasn't even made it to the NBA yet, so he's already good at a lot of things now, and he got a chance to master these things by the time you get older.
Mojo, it seems like simple advice, but I think it's good advice because there's it becomes less and less of a it becomes more and more of a business and less fun, less about going out there and playing basketball as you go from level to level to level. And I think it is a smart idea to just concentrate on playing basketball. And that's what got him here. He's only 18 years old. I don't disagree with Carmelo Anthony. He doesn't do anything necessarily great, but that doesn't mean he's not a great player.
I mean, I'm glad you brought that up, Babcock, because you can't ever hear good advice enough times, right? You need that beat into your head, because right now this guy is the talk of college basketball. Yeah. He is going to be the first overall pick. Imagine the number of voices in this guy's ears right now telling him every which thing to do. I mean, Dwight Howard saying focus on basketball. That sounds simple. That sounds obvious. I feel like these days more than ever, that couldn't be farther from the truth, because guys are worried about what suit they're going to wear to the draft and getting their brand deals and their endorsements and figuring out everything outside of basketball. How can I take this position and get myself into movies and commercials and all these other things? And with NIL and all these opportunities booming on the outside of the game, I mean, that is more of a relevant issue than any other point, especially with some guys that make more outside of the game than in the game. And it seems like most of the top players do. So for a top pick telling another probable top pick to focus on ball, I mean, that conversation goes a long way. And you're talking about Dwight Howard here, one of the greatest to ever do it. One of my favorite basketball players of all time. I've always been a sucker for defensive players. Here's a guy that was Defensive Player of the Year 3 different times. So that always resonated highly with me. But when you heard his interview, he's almost kind of shrugging off the top pick, right? He mentions, one top pick to another. It's almost, reading between the lines, it's almost like, who cares? He's not even in the NBA yet. You got to do it at this level. You see so many big college players make it to the big dance and fall off immediately. So just focus on what brought you here, focus on the game, and get the job done. The rest will work itself out. Again, it sounds like easy, basic advice, but most advice seems that way. Listen to the greats, see what made them successful, and stick to your game.
Coming up, less than 2 months after his estranged wife files for divorce, Tyreek Hill looking flirty with another woman. Keeta back on the prowl when TMZ Sports returns right after this. Welcome back to TMZ Sports. Mike and Mojo. Mojo, less than 2 months after Tyreek Hill's estranged wife, Keeta Vaccaro, filed for divorce, Keeta seems to be moving on. We did a story yesterday on the TMZ Sports website. Mojo showed some photos of and some video of Tyreek Hill at a local water park, not too far from from where you're at, Mojo, in Orlando. And you see Tyreek Hill there with the white tank on there, and with a mystery woman right in front of him, Mojo. Now, they were seemingly a bit flirty in the water. And again, he is a free to date man. He's not technically divorced, but they are estranged. She has filed, and it doesn't seem like there's any hope that they're getting back together. So, Mojo, again, it looks like Ty is moving on. Now, with all that said, I think Keeta trying to remind Tyreek of what he might be missing out on now that they are no longer together in a happy marriage, because a couple hours after we posted the story about Hill and his mystery girl, Keeta posts these photos, Mojo. She's absolutely on fire. I don't know too much what to say, but she posted several bikini photos, Mojo, and I've got to imagine a little part of Tyreek looks at those and says, damn, Keeta, miss her.
I definitely think that she made those posts in response to this current situation. But as for Tyreek Hill, if he's feeling like he's missing his previous lady here, I'm not quite sure that's the case, Babcock. Tyreek Hill doesn't strike me as the guy that's going to enter a mourning period after the end of a relationship. He strikes me as the kind of guy that was already prospecting when things started to even remotely turn south, and the second he became free, he was on to the next. He's had more than one relationship in the past. Actually, the only thing that's surprising to me, Babcock, is that you're a little bit surprised by this water park that Tyreek Hill's out because, I mean, the Holiday Inn has a water park like that around here. This is Orlando, buddy. We got resorts every half a mile down the street all throughout the city, and this is a small one. We go hard in the paint, which is why it's a good place to spark new love interests, I guess.
Have you been to Evermore, Mojo?
Haven't even heard of it, Babcock.
Wow.
We got hundreds of these things out here.
The water park capital of the United States, Orlando, Florida, baby. That's what they say. So Disney, been there, done that. It's overrated. It's a tourist trap. You go for the water parks. Yeah, very cool, Mojo. I hope both of them are happy. In all seriousness, I don't think that Tyreek Hill, as one of the best athletes in the world, and Keeta, I don't think she's going to have too much trouble should she choose to want a new man in her life, Mojo. So we hope both of them are doing well. Looks like neither are having much issues. We are out of time, Mojo. We have got to go. We got a great one tomorrow, though. Aaron Donald, look, he's one of the greatest defensive football players of all time. He is not coming back to the NFL. He has made that clear. We just talked to Aaron Donald, Mojo. We're going to run this tomorrow on this show. He has done some acting. He has expressed interest in doing further acting. He was a star in Los Angeles. Hollywood loves this guy. We asked him, Mojo, who would he like to act alongside with in a movie? He has a fantastic answer. I'm talking like a big, big star Aaron Donald wants to act alongside of. We're going to run that tomorrow, Mojo. This is going to be a great segment. I cannot wait. Bottom line, it's going to be a great show.
Absolutely, Babcock. One of the greatest players, offense or defense, in the history of the NFL. Can he make the transition to Hollywood out where you are, Babcock? Stay tuned tomorrow for the answer to that question, where it will be the best show, since today.
Big one.
I'm a lawyer.